Huh.
Watching Kyle's unboxing videos again?
Yeah, he always finds the coolest... No way! A robot dog? Gotta ask where he got it.
Or use your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Just draw a circle around the dog on your screen, and it shows you where to buy it right in the app.
Whoa, I just learned a new trick. And that for once, I beat Kyle to the next big thing.
Circle it, find it with the new Galaxy S24 Ultra and circle the search with Google. Get yours now at Samsung.com. Internet connection required. Results may vary based on visuals.
Shall we go on to speaking of Football League matters? Shall we discuss briefly touch on the three divisions and how they've sort of roughly finished as of today, or indeed in League One cases yesterday? In the Championship, we knew that Burnley have ran away with the league. I think they're going to do great in the Premier League next season, but we'll go on to that in the pre-season stuff. Sheffield United are up again. What a job Paul Hackenbottom's done. It's kind of gone on the radar, considering how good Burnley have been and on the stories that have been with teams in the playoffs. We knew before today Luton and Borough were confirmed. Luton Town, of course, the big internet meme, the picture of their away end. Can you believe this ground will be in the Premier League next season? Yes, I can believe it. Not being funny, it will be great to have Kenilworth for the Premier League. But Luton and Middlesbrough will be joined by, if I'm remembering it rightly, Coventry and Sunderland. So we're due to have Luton versus Sunderland and Middlesbrough v Coventry, of course. Two-legged affairs, the playoffs are. What do we make of that playoff situation? And of course, the clubs, mainly Blackburn, Millwall, played each other today in a bit of a classic. They missed out.
I think I'd love. Luton have been up and around there now, haven't they, for a couple of years? I'd love to see Luton just do it for just the 1 year. And there's a small part of me, I don't think they'd stay up. But there's a small part of me that thinks if they did go up and came back down, they'd kind of sustain at that level. I don't think they'd do like what Blackpool did. Similar sized club, but I think Luton may be a slightly better run than how Blackpool were at the time. I'd love to see Luton do it. Middlesbrough, they're kind of always up and around there. For their fans, that'd be really good for them, to go on. Coventry, what a story that's been. That it's taken them a long time to get back up and around there, but they've been really consistent for the last 2 years. And Sunderland, if you think of how long it's taken them to get back out of League One, what a story that could be for a kind of back-to-back promotion. So in short, I'd be happy if any of them went up. But I think my preference would probably be Luton or Sunderland. Purely.
I was a couple of weeks ago. I was getting the train home from work, and my train, obviously to Darwin, continues to Blackburn. And I was on the train with a couple of Coventry fans that were going to Ewood to play Coventry Blackburn. And this Coventry lad had his mate with him who was a Wrexham fan. And he said, "Oh yeah, we're mates, but we go to each other's games." It's like I go to Trump, or what have you. It's like that. But I got talking about Coventry, and he said, "Oh yeah," he said, like how well they're doing and things like that. And he said, "Oh, Mike Robbins is the longest serving manager in the Championship." I was like, "Is it?" So there's consistency there for Coventry. There's consistency with the manager, sticking with him, getting the results, and it's paid off. I don't know a right lot about Coventry, but that's something in terms of, they've stuck with the manager for a fair while. Credit to him for that. I'd like to see Coventry up. I don't know what the situation is with the stadium anymore. Have they got is it theirs? Is it not theirs? I can't remember what the deal is.
I believe Mike Ashley owns the stadium now. I believe that Wasps Rugby Union Club did own it, but then they've had issues and they've had to drop into the Rugby Championship for next season. I believe Mike Ashley owns it, and Coventry City have reached an agreement to stay there for 5 years.
Right.
Now, I could be wrong. From my perspective, that stadium move is one of the worst that has happened. When you look at old videos and photos of Highfield Road, and you begin to wonder why did they ever leave there, because there was nothing wrong with that stadium. No. But I think Mike Ashley owns it now. I could be wrong, and I think Coventry have managed to agree a deal to stay for 5 more years.
And they just a quick shout out to the Waterball 8 lads. They'll be chuffed. The both of them travelled down to Preston for that game today. They'll be chuffed. Getting the outcome that they wanted anyway. They're in the in the playoffs there. Over to you, Jim.
Yeah, the Championship playoffs, I think they're usually quite cagey because no one wants to lose. It's all about the money and the prize of being in the Premier League. But this year, I reckon, and this is going to stick me neck on the line a bit with a prediction, I think they'll be quite attacking, purely because you look at some of the players that are available. Coventry, Victor Gyökeres, Matt Godden, Gustavo Hamer have all been revelations in the side. They've all got goals and they've all got creativity in them. They're fantastic players at that level. Victor Gyökeres certainly was mocked being signed by Coventry. He had a poor spell at Swansea. No one knew quite why they'd bought him in. And now he's absolutely stormed the league. But then Borough have got such firepower coming over with Riley McGree, the Australian international at the World Cup. You've got Chuba Akpom, you've got Cameron Archer. I think the lad on loan from Villa's still there. Ramsey, I think he's injured at the moment. He's due back late this month. I'm just checking a certain app now, just to show that. But Borough have got firepower on the pitch, and I think they'll take some stopping under Michael Carrick, who has come in and really turned their fortunes around from doing not much under Chris Wilder to literally an absolute shoe-in for the playoffs. Conversely, Luton, I don't know what to make of Luton. They're a funny one. They just seem to have it, don't they? And having missed out the playoffs last season and the semis to Huddersfield, you'd have thought, they'd bottle it, they're going to drop back down into mid-table. You think they're going to go. Well, I think, I don't know with me. I think Luton Sunderland's one to keep an eye on. Well, obviously it's a playoff game. I think that could be a bit cagier than Borough Coventry. I think Borough Coventry is going to be absolute balls to the wall. I mean, they drew 1-1 today. Ironically in the league, and they've got to play each other again now twice. Yeah, Luton Sunderland's going to be a funny one. I think Sunderland might do that over two legs. I just think something about Tony Mowbray. He will have, he'll be resolute. It kind of work for him, but if they can take something in the home game at Stadium like into the game down in Luton, we could be looking at North East final, Sunderland Borough, which I think would be incredibly tasty in the Championship. But obviously the stories are Luton and Coventry really with what those clubs have been through. Coventry dropping to League Two, Luton to the National League, Luton with the stadium, Coventry with their stadium in an entirely different way, having to move to Northampton and God knows where else. In the meantime, that's the sort of the final everyone, well not everyone, but the final people are looking at is Luton Coventry be the real underdog final. Does it always work out that way? No, but I think whichever combination of clubs that you end up with in the final, there's a story wherever. And as we know, the playoffs are so hard to predict. We just don't know, do we? But I do think we're going to get some real entertaining games there over the playoffs and Championship.
Speaking of predictions, Jimmy, should we all put our neck on the line now? And do you know what, boys? I've been paid. So after this, not from the pod, I must say, Greg keeps all of that money. I think we all make a prediction now as to who's going to win the playoffs from National League up to Championship, and we put £1 accumulator on each one.
Are you answering the Project Football Podcast question on our Twitter by any chance? Who has indeed asked us, who do you think is going to win the playoffs going down to the National League North and South? Is that what you happen to have been doing?
I wasn't, but I'm just a natural segue,
Fair.
Jimmy.
I think
so
now.
yes,
I think
let's use my point.
We will segue. We will ultra meta segue.
I am segueing.
And we will put as a non-gambling man.
Yes.
Who is saving up, but I also have a quid to spare. It's fine. Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, I want the £1, Jimmy. I'm not being funny.
You've said that to me a few times, mate. But let's not go there.
Still waiting, son. Still waiting.
That's a bit grisly, isn't it? But yeah. I'm going to stick my neck on my line, and I'm going to say Middlesbrough win the Championship playoffs, and they've got too much going forward.
Right.
Greg, Championship?
I'm going to go for Sunderland. My gut's telling me Sunderland for some reason. It's and the Waterball lads as well. Just because of the pure. I don't think anyone really. I mean, it was slim. It was a slim chance that Not great odds were it that they were going to be in the playoffs like a couple of weeks ago, and now they've shot straight up there. I think they've got a bit of momentum, whereas Middlesbrough, they've always sort of been up that end of the league. Yeah, my gut's saying Sunderland.
Do you know what?
Ooh.
I'm going to agree with you purely based on that they were kind of hit and miss as to whether they were going to. They've kind of stumbled in there. They're on all right form. Win, draw, win, draw, win, draw. Not that I've just looked on that, but that's their form.
Good memory.
According to a certain mobile app. League One. I'm going to go. I can't see anyone doing it apart from Sheffield.
Sorry, commiserations indeed to Reading, Wigan and Blackpool fans who are in League One next season. Obviously, Reading and Wigan having point deductions, dodgy ownership. Blackpool just not good enough over the season. That's what you get when you hire Mick McCarthy, admittedly, into 2023. Sorry to say. A shame for them. All good clubs, as most clubs are, will go on to a not so good club in the League One relegation, of course. But yeah, League One playoffs. Let's segue down. Plymouth winning league. Sorry,
so
just to say, Plymouth won the league with a manager who took over from the previous manager as assistant. Stephen Schumacher was Ryan Lowe's assistant. Took charge. The only thing there being, of course, that Ryan Lowe actually did a fucking good job and got the Preston job off the back of his Plymouth doing. Whereas Mellon was sacked, and Schumacher decided to stay at Plymouth, and he's now won the league against all the odds, considering some of the big hitters down there, including second place Ipswich, who have absolutely ramped the league as well at 98 points. 98 points and still come second. Fair play to Kieran McKenna in his first full-time gig as a manager as well, getting them up. And well done to Ipswich, indeed. So Plymouth and Ipswich up, then it's Sheffield Wednesday v Peterborough, and Barnsley v Bolton.
So, are you going for Dec? Sorry, Sheff Wednesday?
Sheff Wed just wants Bolton, don't do it. Peterborough, I mean, again, Darren, I can't think of his name.
Is he still? Is he there?
Darren Ferguson.
I wasn't thinking of Darren.
Darren McAnthony, the Irish fella.
That's the one, yeah. I mean, he just consistently does it there, doesn't he? He actually turned around to the fans the other week and said, if you don't want me here, I'll go. There was a few of us actually talking about him the other night in the pub and saying that because he's always had a real good rapport with Rovers. And I mean, what a thing that'd be if because there's been kind of strong rumour in the last couple of months that the Paliosas are looking for either investment or potentially to go. God, I'd snap your arm off for him. But yeah, I can't see Sheffield Wednesday cocking that up. 96 points and missing out on automatic promotion. I mean, that's been some league that hasn't it this year.
Isn't it?
I think what the top three have done is just taken all of the other points that Forest Green should have picked up away from them.
I mean, Forest Green ran it close. In fairness,
there you go.
If it wasn't for some of the big clubs, Forest Green might have gone up. Because they were supposed to be easy. HMS pissed the league. Three stars on their shirt, free promotion they were going to get. Minus 58.
Lost, Drew. Lost.
Is that Forest Green's most recent record?
Wow.
I mean,
minus 58
goal difference, 27 points. They are pretty much.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they got.
They're pretty much shit.
They got less than half of Bristol Rovers' points total. They were 17th. It's as if they're a National League level club that got bankrolled up to League One. Lost their manager and all their squad in the summer for free because didn't think that they'd need to renew any contracts. Arrogantly got into League One.
And then missed out on safety just by 19
and
points.
Missed out on targets they wanted because they were going to get to bigger clubs who could offer more money, and fans was massively out of their depth with the rookie manager, who I actually quite like, but I think has gone into a bit of a dead man's cave with that job.
And they sell shite burgers.
Hey.
So in short, League One, Sheffield Wednesday for me. They'll go up.
You go next, Greg.
I think Bolton are going to do it. I've got this weird feeling that they're going to do it. I know that's all right.
I'm off. I'm going, lads.
But there's a reason why I want them to do it, and it's not particularly because I want Bolton as a club to do it. If they get promoted through the playoffs, Rochdale get a cut of. We get some money for Aaron Morley sale. So we sold Aaron Morley to Bolton for peanuts. but there's in the T's and C's, if he gets them promoted, we get a decent bit of money, apparently. And God knows we need a bit of fucking money at the minute, excuse my French. But we need a bit of money at the minute. So for the sake of money streaming back through to Rochdale, it's going to have to be Bolton just because we're skint. On the basis that we need money, that's all it is. Sorry, Dick.
Slag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pouring yourself
Pouring
out.
yourself out
I feel
for
like the
Bolton
$1 Million
Wanderers
Man
Not
from
for the first
WWF.
time.
Indeed.
But yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got a price. Greg DiBiase.
Yeah.
Right.
League
I've
2.
not said my League One prediction yet.
Oh, sorry, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Sorry,
here.
mate.
I'm the Forest Green of the podcast. I'm here, but I don't need to take part. But right.
Just
here to make
up
up the
fixtures,
fucking
aren't you?
numbers, me, aren't I? Clearly. Yeah, you can stuff your introductions in future. Now, Head says Sheffield Wednesday, because obviously they finished 10 points ahead of Barnsley in fourth. Sheffield Wednesday have got a Peterborough side who have managed to completely sneak their way in ahead of a very good Derby side. Who I'm shocked we're not seeing Derby in the playoffs this year. But I think they'll come strong next season. Obviously, again, we'll do the prediction show at another time. Sheffield Wednesday, Peterborough. I don't see Peterborough getting that as much as I quite like Darren McAntony. I think Peterborough are a good side. I just think Sheffield have got too much. I can see Bolton turn over Barnsley, though. I don't mind this Barnsley team. They've got stuff going forward. They've got Norwood, obviously. Gotta love Norwood. But I just think Barnsley are one of those weird teams that they should have done so much better this year. They could have been up there with the Sheffield Weds of this world. Had they been a bit more obviously anyone could have been a bit more consistent. Fucking Forest Green, if they'd been more consistent, would have been up there. A lot more consistent. I do think Sheffield Wed Bolton final. And on their day, Bolton have got the experience of playing at Wembley this season. They've won 4-0 at Wembley. They won't be fazed by the occasion. It'll be a massive crowd. Like, I don't know, right? I don't want to say Bolton. No, I'm going to go Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry, I can't bring myself to say Bolton. Sorry. But even if deep down I'm going, I just think Sheffield Wednesday will bottle it. I just have something about me that says they've done that well. And I like Sheffield Wednesday, but you just know. There's one team every year that you think, they're going to go up. They've come third. They've run it close, and then they always fuck it up. It was Tranmere the year that they lost the FGR in the final in the National League. There's been other teams that have done it, and you're like, oh my God, another year in this league. I'm going to say Sheffield Wed, despite my innate belief that they are actually going to fucking bottle it to Bolton, who themselves have come back strong second half of the season, 3 and Everton.
Just a quick one before we bounce to League 2. I'll make it brief. Just fair play to Neil Warnock keeping Huddersfield up. I thought that was
absolutely.
I thought that was going to be difficult.
What a man!
He's never been Tranmere manager, has he, or anything? No, he just like the fella.
Not yet.
Just like the fella.
No,
yeah,
not
I
yet.
wish. Yeah, no, a lot of respect for him. Yeah. It's a bit like Dale or no Dale, but with Tranmere managers, isn't it?
Affectionately referred to, of course, as we know, as Colin Wanker, because it's an anagram of his name. I think that's a brilliant nickname.
Yeah.
To the point where he even refers himself as Colin sometimes, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, the bowling story.
Probably
Deck said about this.
Yeah.
Was it Middlesbrough? Oh, go on, Deck.
Yeah, I think it was at Middlesbrough, and it was. I'm trying to think. It was on another podcast. I heard it, and he basically he took the lads out. I think it was pre-season. As like it was either pre-season or the end. It must have been pre-season. As like a bonding night out kind of thing, and he got all of the young players to basically put like £100 or whatever it was into this pot for like the winner on the night. They had like say 7 lanes or whatever. Neil Warnock turns up, his own pair of bowling shoes and a bowling ball. And he's like one of his like main hobbies, and absolutely battered them all and walked off with the winnings. Walked out with like thousands of pounds worth.
But he had his own like glove. He had his own bowling ball. He had his own shoes. He had his own what have you
full
whatever you call it. He had his own like gear ready, like he was built for that. He was just like, right, lads, so I'm gonna show you.
To be fair, like you turn up like that, you've got to really. You're the manager. If you don't win that, then you've set yourself up for losing the dressing room in record time.
But yeah, that was just a quick one. Fair play to him for keeping Huddersfield up. Don't particularly mind Huddersfield. Like me and Jim used to go and watch him in our Huddersfield uni days. Yeah, he used to have some cracking games there. It's sort of like a team I keep an eye on. Yeah, I like Huddersfield.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely. absolutely, yeah. Shifting on down to League One relegation, Forest Green, we know, have gone. They've been gone for about 6 years. Accrington, it was always on they were going to go down the John Coleman, Rochdale's former manager. Of course, well, I say manager, inverted commas. He didn't really do much managing. They had to have a massive goal difference swing and were 3 points away from safety on the final day. Morecambe, despite Carl Stockton's best efforts, and Umani of course, never relegated before. They are now. Make of that what you will. And I'm going to give everyone 10 seconds. We're going to give 10 seconds silence because MK Dons, and use 10 seconds for a moment of silence or 10 seconds of laughter. 10 seconds to piss yourself laughing. MK Dons are relegated.
Hey!
Is that Robbie Stockdale?
I hope you're all laughing at home. I think Robbie Stockdale may be involved somewhere.
Is their
I don't
assistant
know.
manager?
I couldn't even hold it. I don't know. But
So,
yeah.
Roundabouts and concrete cows. What a fantastic
I've never been.
Effectively, he's sort of relegated Rochdale and MK Dons in one season. So
I mean, that's a bit grim, innit? That is grim.
He'll be Tranmere manager by January.
He'll have boosted Adkins out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of MK Dons.
No more Adkins diet. Anyway,
oh God.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, again, those four. You look at them, and in Cambridge. Congratulations to Cambridge. They stayed up. It was absolute limbs. They've been in the relegation zone since I think February, and it's a bottom four as we know in League Two. They've stayed up. Fair play to them. I honestly, out of the final day, I think they're the ones I wanted to stay up most. Like I know, Greg, you mentioned about affiliation towards Morecambe, but I think in terms of local away days, Morecambe and Accrington, plus also just smaller clubs, and obviously MK Dons because MK Dons. Get them, lash them back down, get them back in League Two. Moving on to League Two.
Leighton Orient, champions, Stevenage. Steve Evans' cat was well fed.
I mean,
we're all talking about his pet.
I think we should take some. We should take some fucking credit for Steve Evans' promotion.
Yes,
because I think the first podcast of the season we spoke about Steve Evans and his cat. Now we don't know if he actually has a fucking cat, but you know what? He's got to run us up Midland League Two, and I think we have some. We should be at the Stevenage parade, taking on the bus, taking some kind of, and also I think we've watched.
There's no space, Jimmy.
Was Steve Evans' cat a metaphor for promotion? Somehow?
No.
Oh. That's all for it.
No. No.
Absolutely.
No, but I don't know.
From now on, we have to say here. It's the cat that is promotion.
Maybe not. What has happened to this podcast?
We let the cat out of the bag on that one, didn't we? That's what we did. Northampton obviously gained promotion today. Congratulations to them. And then playoffs. So we've got Stockport, Carlisle, Bradford, and Salford. Now, form-wise, when you look at our favourite app, you would have to favour probably Stockport or Salford. However, having watched Tranmere play against all of those teams this season, Salford were nothing really to sing home about, and it would pain me to see them go up. Apologies to any Salford fans.
All 12 of them.
Bradford, in all honesty, all 12. I mean, that'd double our hits, wouldn't it, if they all click down? Remember, listener, click download. Do not stream us. Click download,
please.
Bradford, have they underachieved? I'd say based on what they've spent and how their season was kind of bigged up. And to be honest, I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll be in League Two again next season, and it'll be interesting to see whether they then stick with Hughes or not. I don't think he's had a particularly bad season. I think the squad have just not achieved the things that they should have done. Carlisle, for me, probably one of, if not, I'm going to put my neck on the line, if not the best side I've seen play in League Two this year. I think they've played some really, really good stuff. Obviously, Orient have been fantastic as well, but I've admired Carlisle's kind of style of play. And then obviously Stockport. I think my head is saying Carlisle, just based on how they play, but my heart definitely would Stockport. I wanted us to try and do them a favour today and to get them up. Obviously with the Tranmere links there as well with Clint Hill and Mr. Throw-In, David Challoner. I think it would have been nice to have seen them do well. So I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna say Stockport.
Okay.
Agree on that one. Sorry, I have to agree. I had Salford. Meh, they're okay. But the problem with Salford is they're better away from home. Seems at the moment you stick them in the 89th minute away from home and they'll win a game. Stick them at home and they will lose to Gillingham as they did today. Yeah, I think it goes to. This is one of the few I think goes to form in the playoffs, as in positional form. So I think you're looking at a Stockport Carlisle final, which would be a really entertaining game. I think Bradford, if Bradford were going to go up, they usually would go up automatically. I think the playoffs is just a bridge too far for them. I think they'll do what Bradford more often than not do. Although they went up in the playoffs a few years ago against Northampton in this division, but more often than not, Bradford in the playoffs don't always. It's not always a happy marriage, shall we say? And I think people are expecting too much of them. I think Stockport Carlisle final. I think Stockport go up. I think as much as Carlisle are a very entertaining side, I just think there's more about the Stockport side. They're just such a strong team, and like you say, I don't think it'll be a case if they came like Northampton last season where they came so close to going up automatic and then missed out on the semis to was it Mansfield last year. Because the heartbreak of that, I don't think Stockport will have that same kind of because they'll have known going into it. It's not in our hands. If Northampton go and win today, which they did, then we'll just do what we need to do. And admittedly, I think they drew at home to Hartlepool today, which is an awful result in the face of it. But you treat each game in isolation. I think they've got too much for Salford over 2 games, and I think they're going to be going to do what I think Wrexham and not to give a prediction, but Notts County will probably do next season, and that's go right up the divisions.
I'm going to go for Carlisle. Just because, there's a few reasons. I don't particularly mind Carlisle out of all 4 of them. Paul Simpson is a good, honest fellow. Ex-Dale player and manager. He was player manager in 2002, I think. We didn't do very well with him at the time, but you could tell there was some.
Don't give away the Dale or no Dale quiz. You give away the answer now.
I haven't got any Dale or no Dale this week. I've got other Royal questions that we're going to tap into before.
So you mean to tell me I studied Rochdale's 1989 squad for no reason all weekend?
I'm sorry, Jim. I've wasted your time.
Well, fuming with that. Anyway, carry on.
Paul Simpson. Don't mind him at all. I think it would just be hilarious if Bradford failed and stayed in League Two because they are a club and fan base that crowd count. That's all they do on Twitter. That we've brought 27,000 billion fans to Prenton Park. How about that? And that's all they talk about. I don't like Bradford. Bradford at all. Stockport are our rivals. One of. I don't have it. Like you guys can't go Bolton. I can't go Stockport on this one. I can't do it. No, they beat us at Wembley in 2008 in the playoff final, and they technically relegated us the other week. Painful. Can't go Stockport. Salford with the 12 fans. I don't want Gary Neville gloating about, great, we're in the playoffs, blah, 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 going to Wembley. I don't want Gary Neville being happy. So by default, and he is ex-Dale, it's Carlisle for me. It's Carlisle. That's my pick.
Yeah. All
sound, non-footballing reasons for Greg's choice there.
Yeah. Listener, you'll know that none of us hold a grudge. I'm only going back to the early 90s with
we never let go of those grudges.
2008 for Rochdale.
Some would say I was still in the womb, but I hold a grudge.
I hate these lot.
Regardless.
Conceived with a hatred of Bolton Wanderers. I mean, is there any other way? Is there any other fucking way? Obviously, relegation from League Two we know about. We don't need to discuss that. Obviously, sorry to see Hartlepool go, and I don't know who else went down. I don't know who it was.
I haven't got a clue. No.
Some team. Crawley, Harrogate, one of them.
Oh no, sorry, Hartlepool.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Hartlepool went down.
Hartlepool went down, and then there was another team. But Hartlepool and Hartlepool FC. Right. So moving on to the greatest league in the world, that is the National League. We know that that Welsh club managed to get up. Not sure they're letting any old foreign club in these days. Yeah, that was right. We've got an East Midlands derby at, I think it's at Wembley this year. The play. I don't know, they always move it from venue to venue.
Yeah, I think
Chesterfield, Notts County. That one's gone to form just in the sense of the semis. Obviously, we know Boreham Wood knocked off Barnet away. Bromley knocked off Woking away in some surprise eliminator games before some absolute classics yesterday in the semis. Notts County with their millions of points coming from 2 goals down at home to Boreham Wood. Chesterfield eking out Bromley at it was the Proact Stadium. I don't know what's called now in Chesterfield. That new stadium that's nicer than their old one. I don't think we need to really discuss too much detail. Do we think that multi-goal, Macaulay, what's his name, Langstaff, and Ruben Rodriguez, and all the amazing Notts County players are going up, or Chesterfield?
I'm going to put my neck on the line.
You're going to say you are, aren't you?
And say that Chesterfield are going to go up.
Is it because you love Ollie Banks?
I
do love Ollie Banks, and I would like to see them up.
I would. Yeah, absolutely. And I've respect for both sides, and I think, on paper, Notts County deserve to go up, but I just think there's that kind of a bit of a, I don't know, is there still a little bit of a hangover there that they didn't get the title, because 3 weeks ago it looked it was in their hands, and a couple of results went against them and so on. I don't think it's as much of a formality that they've gone and won that already before turning up. I think that it smells a little bit like when we got done over by Forest Green. So to approach that one with caution is all I'll say. But I'd be more than happy to see Notts County back.
Right, you didn't be saying that. It's about 10 years ago.
Travel well back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, but it is. But yeah, I'm gonna put my neck on the line and say Chesterfield.
I'm just gonna go Notts County. Just it's just a bit of an animal, aren't they, up there with 100 billion points or whatever it is? But I can see the logic where Dec's coming from. I'm just gonna pick Notts County.
Yeah, Notts County was many points as Bradford takeaway fans. Something in the billion region, apparently. No, but seriously, I know I was somewhat disrespectful to Paul Cook Chesterfield in the little segue there. I do think they've got a guy in Armando Dobra, that's the guy at Chelsea. Armando Dobra, who's a good centre forward. They've got some cracking players. Obviously, we love Ollie Banks, and I think it will be a tight game. And I think both clubs would be a quality welcome back to the Football League. They're both Football League clubs in all but the division they're in at the moment. They both would massively outstrip a lot of the clubs that are in League Two right now that are staying up. Harrogate, Salford. But yes, 4-2 Forest. That's not the result I wanted personally. Nor is it one Southampton fans wanted. I think they're going. Anyway, yeah, so I do believe that Forest, other side of the Trent, Notts County, will be going up. But I do think Chesterfield will run it tight. I don't think it'll be a foregone conclusion. We have, of course, been asked as well about our predictions for the National League North and South. I could just go over the finals if we have any sort of feelings. I don't know if anyone knows too much about it. It's going to be Kidderminster against Brackley, because Chester are shit. And no, sorry, Chester fans. Sorry, but you lost at home to Brackley Town. Well, I wanted Chester to go through. I genuinely wanted Chester to play Kidderminster at the final. I thought it'd been a really good final.
You say this shit. They went on a 21-game unbeaten run.
To be fair, and they also beat Everton behind closed doors.
I didn't know that.
But Everton
apparently we're
shit.
after. Yeah,
they did.
We're after their manager. A rumour I've heard today.
No, Callum McIntyre's a good manager. And to be fair, I think Chester will come strong next season in the National League North. To be fair, I was only joking by saying they were shit. So Chester.
Purely for Greg's stomach, I want Kidderminster Harriers to go up.
Maybe so that's where we go on our podcast day out.
At the away.
I must admit, I've always fancied Kidderminster away.
I'm up for that.
Remember a chat to mate of mine from Kidderminster said Agborough is like unreal to go to. It's a nice little stadium, good food.
There's a railway museum about 30 seconds from the ground as well. If that's
just go there and sack the football off.
Yeah. Just to completely derail everything.
Okay, let's just never mind football. Let's just go on holiday to Kidderminster. Fuck it. Let's just, regardless of what happens. I would say Kidderminster over Brackley. I think mainly because I know more about Kidderminster Harriers. They've been in the Football League. They've been in the National League before. Good little setup around West Ham close in the FA Cup a couple of years ago. And without sounding like the Oldham chairman, I don't really know where Brackley is. So I can't really predict. Where is it?
Hang on, I'll Google it. You continue, I'll Google.
In the nicest way, I always get Brackley and Bracknell, which is near Reading, very much confused. Knowing that I've said that now, I'm sorry, Brackley Town. You've earned your place in the final. I'm sure you'll do really well. And you know what? They probably will go on and beat Kidderminster. They themselves, I think, have had a few decent cup runs, Brackley, so I shouldn't be disrespectful. Again, I've been pissing on everyone's chips this podcast. But for me, I just think Kidderminster went to Kings Lynn, who were running file close to the league, and won 4-1. That's a hell of a result to go to Kings Lynn. I thought they would win those playoffs. So for me, I think Kidderminster just eke out Brackley. And also, we could also enjoy a nice sausage-based away day next year. Or other meat. Jeez. Well, they have nice sausages. Don't call me that face.
Four.
Yeah.
You've sold
I
that to
have a
me, Jimmy.
sausage-based away day.
You've sold
Indeed.
it to me. And I'm going to go with St Albans over Oxford City, purely because I've got some family who used to live in St
Fair.
Albans, so that's my tedious
Fair.
link.
I'm going to go with St Albans.
Yeah. Is it because you want to go St Albans, Greg?
Why not? Why not?
Fair enough. I mean, you could. I would go to Oxford. I mean, come on, that's not bad.
They're not exactly a million miles away, boys.
Yeah.
From
All
each
right,
other.
fair enough. They're both.
May I
Yeah.
add. They're nowhere near Rochdale.
I'm undecided. I'm undecided because St Albans are sponsored by Enter Shikari, which I think is hilarious. And Enter Shikari used to be good in my teen emo days. I don't know what they're like now. Oxford City, I think it would be amusing. People to refer to them as Oxford and then get confused between Oxford City and Oxford United, realising there's two clubs called Oxford. And I just want to see the world. Sometimes I want to watch the world burn, so I can't really decide on that one. I don't know anything about the team.
A quick one on that. You've just brought something to the foreground about Oxford teams. Did you hear about the Bobby Moore, Harry Redknapp story about Oxford? No, you wouldn't have done. So,
we're about to.
Yeah, so Harry Redknapp, I'm sure it's Harry Redknapp, years ago, got a phone call from Bobby Moore.
It may not be Harry Redknapp.
Bobby Moore said, I've got the Oxford job. I've said, I want you as my assistant or within my coaching staff. Do you want it? And he's like, yeah, all right then, yeah. It turns out, and he agreed it over the phone or something like this, and it wasn't Oxford City, it was the one you just mentioned. Yeah.
What, it was Oxford? Oh, it wasn't Oxford United, it was Oxford City.
It wasn't Oxford United, it was Oxford City. But I think
so. It was the
it was
the.
I'm gonna look that up now for clarity. But yeah, sorry, I thought I'd just chip in with that one.
Harry Redknapp got the Oxford City
It's
job.
something like that.
That's a long time ago.
I'll find it. Let me find it. If I'm mistaken, I'll put it on the Twitter.
That's got shades of Mike Bassett all over it, hasn't it? Really. When he sat on the TV show, he signs a Dutch fellow, and he thinks he's a centre forward. And he turns out he's a really crap goalkeeper. From the scouting videos. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna just go Oxford City just to go against you guys in that final. Up the Oxford City. I honestly hate to be disrespectful. I don't know much about the South. I follow the North a lot more. There's bigger teams in it. We're up north, admittedly here, and there's I know a bit more about it, but I'm sure it'll be an entertaining game. You can watch both finals on the Vanarama National League portal or some kind of streaming service. And of course, the final between Chesterfield and Notts County will be on BT Sport. So that's our tips and predictions for the playoffs.
There's our roundup. I mean, there's only there's one more thing to touch upon, whatever people's opinions of it have been. Obviously, we've had a coronation this week. You can tell by the tone of my voice. I didn't watch any of it.
This is Dec of Irish descent, just to point out.
Park.
So,
I was born in Birkenhead.
Yeah, but
I've said this to a lot of people, and whatever people's views and things are on it, I'm not anti anything. I just don't really.
You're uncle, aren't you?
They're there, aren't they? And they. But yeah, so we in our chat we were talking about how we could try and kind of slot it into the podcast, as it were. And we've got a couple of Royal based questions, so I'm going to lob mine out there first of all. So this is open obviously to Jimmy and Greg, and the listener at home will. I think maybe we could put these up as questions on our socials as well, possibly, sure. and leave them open for people to respond.
Most people download and don't stream.
So my one links back to February 1924. Now, what a great year to start off on. So it involves and this is the Royal link. Some would say the King of Everton, and arguably one of Tranmere's kings, none other than Birkenhead's finest, Dixie Dean. So, there's the Royal link. Or is it? In February 1924, Dixie Dean played against Altrincham in the Cheshire Senior Cup He scored 2 goals for Tranmere before being tormented by his marker, who did what from preventing him from scoring his hat-trick?
Good Lord.
I mean, I expect you've watched the highlights of this. I'll be
I
disappointed
was
if you
just
haven't.
watching this game yesterday.
Right. So
Remember it well.
we need to right. Whoever was marking him, we need to come up with how unusual it was.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
he's
can
done something
can I
to
just
Dixie
clarify?
Dean.
Is the answer something royal related, or have you just shoehorned the fact that Dixie Dean's the king of Everton Tranmere into this quiz just to make it completely obscure?
The answer is
Ooh.
also royal related.
Right.
Arguably more royal related than
Okay.
than him being a king of Everton.
Gosh, that's a difficult question.
There's so many answers right now, and some of them are highly inappropriate.
Okay. So it's to do with royalty.
Consider.
A big hint, Jimmy. I'd probably go down that route.
Right. So he did something within a royal sort of. A difficult question.
Yeah, it really is. When you think about the Cheshire Senior Cup in 1924, that's
right.
A famous day.
I think he pulled his pants down.
Okay.
I don't know what
and
is royalty
Jimmy?
about that.
Royal related.
Greg's gone for the 4-year-old answer there.
Okay, right. Okay. He. Something royal related. What would the royals do in this situation? He would.
This is a tough one.
He would. He would wave at him as he went past, like the royal wave.
A royal wave.
So he'd wave at him to distract him.
Greg, you were closer. Dixie Dean actually ended up in Birkenhead Infirmary after losing one of his crown jewels.
No.
He was stamped on and lost a testicle. Yeah, in the centre circle of Prenton Park.
When we say lost,
so there you go.
What that placard's there for?
A little bit shrine.
Little walnut in the centre circle.
A gold walnut.
That's unbelievable. So somebody stamped on his bits, basically. Good Lord.
Yeah. Stamped them. So there you go. That was my royal related question. And linking again to the coronation, a load of some could say.
Allegedly. I'm not keen on it.
In my opinion, in our
allegedly
in our free reign country, unless you're carrying something that would suggest you're going to tie yourself to something, in which case you will be arrested.
A bit like the Everton fan.
I'm just reading that they've apologised for arresting
he
the
wasn't
6
an Everton
people
fan,
there yesterday.
Oh, right.
They've
yes,
said
indeed.
that it was wrongdoing.
Okay,
so anyway, any other royal related questions before we wrap it up, gents?
Irishman Declan there. So Greg's got a few, and I've got a few as well.
Do you want me to go next?
Okay.
This one's a slightly easy, sort of lazy question, but I'll chuck it in there anyway.
1929.
It doesn't involve
this
testicles.
No. So I've got 2 questions, but I'll just go straight in with this one. How many times did Ledley King play for England?
Oh,
I'll give you, if you're nearest by one either side. I'll give you nearest to one either side, just to be generous.
Oh, jeez.
If you want,
I was going to say one as well. Actually, to think of it. Genuinely, I remember him playing away at Portugal before Euro 2004.
Right,
16.
16.
Okay, right. I'm not going to go with one. Then he clearly played more than once. Although in my head, I think he might have scored once away at Portugal in the European or some
Forgot about
European
that.
thing. Maybe. I'm gonna go. He was so injury prone. Bless him.
He would have been yeah. I mean, he were good, but
I think it's going to be like something like 8. Because because obviously the players that were around at the time and his injury proneness.
Okay, 8. So Dec's going for 16. Jimmy's going for 8. The answer is 21. So Dec was the closest, but I would have given a point either side, but never mind. It's
well, yeah.
Sorry.
I've got this calculator, so 16 add 1 is 25.
Got another one. Got another question.
Even though he had 21 caps, for anyone who was a real Eder listener there who noticed my slight error.
So this is
Anyway,
this is the last
question
one for
2.
me. But Kevin Prince Boateng celebrated his AC Milan Scudetto in 2011. This is a multiple choice, by the way, so you've got a chance. Obviously, multiple choice. Kevin Prince Boateng celebrated the Scudetto with AC Milan by doing one of these 4 options. So which one did he do of these 4? So the first one, did he hire out a nightclub for the team, staff and families and did his own DJ session? Did he dress up like Michael Jackson and danced in the San Siro? Did he pose naked on an Italian magazine cover? Or did he write a song about the season and performed it to the staff and players at a party? I can go through them again if you want me to.
I'm going to go
Right.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
I'm not gonna say I think I remember this because I can't say that and then get it wrong. Because if I say the Sanson, it turns out I'm wrong. Then what the hell have I remembered? But I think he posed naked in front of a magazine.
Right.
I don't know why. I seem to remember a footballer posing naked in a magazine.
Jimmy remembers it well because it
one
was
of his
up on his
dreams,
bedroom
one of his
wall,
dreams.
wasn't it, Jimmy?
Okay, so
Absolutely.
I'll go through the 4. Did he? Yep. So did he hire out a nightclub for the team, staff, and families, and did his own DJ session? Did he dress up like Michael Jackson and dance in the San Siro? Did he pose naked for an Italian magazine cover, or did he write a song about the season and perform it to staff and players at a party? Dec is correct. Dec is right. He dressed up as Michael Jackson and danced around the San Siro. Apparently, I don't know what.
What a
I don't know
thriller.
what Jimmy was thinking about the naked cover magazine.
Oh, hang on. I think it might have been David James.
There you go. So Dec's got a point there.
I don't know.
They were both
Dec's got a
footballers.
point. I
That was
think
the link
Dec's
for
winning
Jimmy.
so far now. I think.
Aye.
Next
There you
winning
go,
with a solid
smash.
1 out of 3.
No one's keeping
That's my
score
2
here.
questions out the way with there.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I am Jimmy because
I've
I'm
got
winning.
a list of questions and I'm trying to think of. Right. Okay. I'll start with a nice easy one. Dead simple. Which EFL club is named after a royal? Now, listen again. Which EFL club is named after a royal?
Oof, EFL. Right, so I'm assuming this is a person.
No, it's a football
No, I
club.
meant named after. Right.
Yeah.
Named after. Crikey.
It's not a trick question.
My gut instinct. I don't know if Dec wants to go first or me. Dec's not going first. No. My gut instinct is Reading, but I don't know why.
Okay. You know it, Dec?
I'm strolling through teams' names here,
Cheating,
just
cheating,
seeing if
Ducky's
anything
point.
jumps out at me. It's not going to be MK Dons, is it?
You don't remember
Let's
King
go
Milton?
with.
I was thinking Don. Yeah. Okay.
Don King.
Um,
Named after Don King.
Wimbledon.
No, the answer
know.
indeed was
Wimbledon.
MK Dons after Don King. No, it wasn't. The answer is actually Crew Alexandra.
Oh, so it is.
Princess Alexandra
Oh,
of
that
Denmark.
makes sense.
That's unbelievably wrong.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But on another point, Greg, Reading are nicknamed the Royals.
Yeah,
so,
I was going. I thought
Wimbledon, posh tennis.
My second choice was Stoke, because I'm sure the Royals would love a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And, how would King Charles III perform on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke? That's what I want to know. That's what the people want to know.
People want to know indeed.
I'm all for it.
Right, and I've got a list of the questions, and I'm trying to think of a one that. Okay, right. So, I'm just going to go with a nice, simple one. What is the home stadium of Northern Ireland's national team called?
It's got to be
Northern Ireland's national team. Sorry, Dec. Northern Ireland's
got
national
to be
team.
named after someone.
Where did he play? What's it called?
Oh, sugar.
It's not called Sugar.
It's something Park, I think.
It is something
Yeah.
Park. That's all. You've got that half of it.
No.
And it's not Prenton.
No. The clue is in
Right,
the
I'll
name
go
of
for-
the thing park.
I'll go. If it's Royal, oh, it's not Royal themed, is it?
It could be.
I'll just for because I can't remember. I'll go for Victoria Park. I don't know.
Victoria Park, okay.
That is at the top of my road. I'm going to go Windsor Park.
One of you is correct.
Oof.
Hartlepool United play at Victoria Park, as do Victoria Colts, in an entirely different Victoria Park. But indeed, yes, Northern Ireland play at Windsor Park, hence, of course, the royal family of Windsor.
Got there.
I've got loads of these. I've got some obscure ones on here, like for example, which paint company famously sponsored Liverpool in the 1980s? Crown
Crowns.
Paints. There
Crown
you go.
Paint from Blackburn.
All kinds of stuff like that.
Tell you
Probably.
what.
I don't know where they're from, but they sponsored Liverpool in the
Interesting.
80s.
Interesting.
Indeed, that is fascinating.
Crowbar this in. It'll be quick. I put a tweet out there on our Twitter.
He said that a few times.
A random question to the followers. If you could name a beer after anything, what would you call it? It has to be something football related. So we've got Joe Sayers said the Ale of Steel. I like that one. Brighton player, Ale of Steel. We had the Jermaine Tennant. I thought that was quite a clever one. Suarez Bite Pale Ale. Wasn't too sure about that one. And one of my mates from back home, Adam Tosh, replied with PSV Hangover. Sorry, PSV Hangover. Back over to you, Jim. I just thought I'd crowbar that one in before we finish.
Fantastic. Always good to crowbar things in before you finish. So, hi. So, please, thank you for listening. If you got this far, I apologise, personally. Please download and subscribe to your podcast network. We are part of the Sports Social Network. We thank you and thank them for offering us with opportunities and sponsorship throughout the podcast. And Greg, you are mouthing something.
Sorry, did you say Ben?
No, I said
them.
Ben.
I'm going deaf.
Thank you to Sports Social Network. Thank you for listening. Please download. Please subscribe. Don't just stream. Dec, Greg, any more final words? Not Ben, because he's not here.
I mean, if Ben's listening, I hope he's having a fantastic evening or morning whenever
Ben,
he's listening
wherever
to us.
you are.
No, but just thanks to all the listeners. Yeah, make sure you're sharing it, downloading it. If you've got multiple phones, download it on all of those as well. That's fantastic.
If
you've
got multiple phones, also why?
What are you doing? Breaking Bad with multiple phones.
Yeah.
Being a Rock Ferry lad, that's a normal thing
your area,
to very, very much. I mean, if you've got 4 pockets on your jeans, what else are you putting in there?
8210s, there you go.
Indeed.
Exactly, right. Yeah.
On that note, now we've offended all listeners.
No, thanks to the listeners. Hope you've enjoyed the episode, and obviously we'll keep these ticking over a little bit during close season. They may slow down a little bit, but we'll try and maybe branch out a little bit over the close season. Get a couple of ideas maybe from some of you on Twitter with some episode titles or themes, and then we look forward to going again pre-season and hopefully a better season for our 3 teams next year.
Let's not forget as well, we've still got the rest of the Premier League, the Champions League, European stuff, generally leagues. Well done to Napoli, by the way, winning Serie A, fantastic. Absolute scenes there. And if you want to hear us talk about things not football related, I mean, if you heard us talk about football enough, then please give us ideas. We will happily discuss things non-football, as long as it's, appropriate, genuinely. So thank you very much for listening, and take care. See you soon. Bye for now.
Take care. Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care.